Let me start by asking you, who in 5th grade has at least heard of the distributive property? Most of you have heard it. Does anybody know what it is, or can you give me an example of that? This is where everything, all the hands then go back down again. You've heard of it, and that's always, I have found the property that the kids remember the least. Like if I told you commutative, I bet you knew what commutative is, right? You reverse it. Alright? Distributive is the one that always seems to cause problems for you guys if not remember it. Tim, recall anything? That's still commutative with a change in order. Do you remember, Dylan? Anything? Alright, parentheses, there you go. I think you're on the right track. Okay. Okay, you're on the right track. Watch what I'm going to do. Don't write this down just to see if this kind of rings a bell. If I were to ask you to multiply this in your head, 40 times 12. Who can do it in their head?
Me.
So what's the answer?
400.
How did you do it?
First I did 40 times 10, and then I multiplied by 2.
All right, that's actually using distributive property. I'm surprised he even came up with that. Some kids will do it as, okay, 12 times 4,
Yeah.
add a 0.
Yes,
All right, that's using the 0 trick. But distributive property is taking the number that does not end in a 0 and breaking that number up into two numbers that can be added together. So watch what I'm going to do. Here's my 40, and what I'm going to do, in parentheses, I take my 12 and I make that 10 plus 2. Okay? Then I take, you know what parentheses, what operation to do? That order of operations, I'm talking about when you see a number outside parentheses. What do you do? Add, multiply, divide, or subtract. Multiplication. Okay? So now what you do is you take your 40 and you multiply it by each number inside the parentheses. By the way, going back to 40 times 12, what was our answer again? 480, let's not forget that. You take your number, 40 times 10, and what do you get? 40 times 10. 40 times 2. And 400 plus 80 in your head, what do you get? 480. That's what distributive property is. It's taking one of the numbers, breaking it up into a sum of two numbers, and then putting a number outside, multiplying it by each number inside. That being said, we're going to skip the warm-up, go to page 2. Go to the bottom where it's 30 times 12. We'll practice all the examples, and then honestly, you guys are good to go on your own. I have 30 times 12. I know you could probably do it in your head. What is it in your head? You must just do it. Shout it out. 360. Using distributive property, we're going to break up one of these numbers. We always want to break up the number that does not end in a 0. But
12.
we're going to rewrite splitting up our 12. What goes outside the parentheses? Raise your hand. Yeah. Correct. Now I'm going to take my 12 and I break it up based on the place value. How many 10s are in 12? 1 10, but we're going to put 10, not 1, but 10. Plus what makes 12? Now we get to our 1s. 2. Take the number outside the parentheses and you multiply it by each number in the parentheses. And I want you to make the arrows because it really helps you to remember. 30 times that that goes here. All I'm doing is taking this, what's kind of showing by the arrows, is being expressed in part C. Plus 30 times what? Good. Now we evaluate each partial product. That's what we mean. This is a partial product. This is a partial product. 30 times 10. 300. Let me give you a little tip. Use the zero trick. Even though these are pretty simple to do in your head, you take 1 times 3 and what do you get? How many zeros are there total? 2 of them. That's how you can do it. 30 times 2. Smash them together. What do you got? Say it out loud. And done. Now we're not going to actually do it because of time. We can do long multiplication and actually work out 300 times 12 to prove that the answer is correct. We don't have time for it. If you want, you can check with calculators later on. Let's go on to example 2. Each example will get progressively harder. Same formula though, same recipe to figure it out. What number gets broken up? That. Right, the number that doesn't end in a 0. Make a note of that, everybody. Not ending in 0. In case you have to do this all by yourself this weekend. Joey Loose goes outside the parentheses. Not the number we're breaking up, always goes outside the parentheses. So what number goes outside the parentheses? 400. Oh my God! Hold on, I have to turn this off because I gotta make sure I recognize it. Sorry about that. Okay, outside the parentheses, Joe. Correct. Break up 27 by place value. Sounds good. Make your arrows 400 times 20, 400 times 7. 4 is now. All right, use the zero trick if you get hung up. What's 400 times 20? 7. 8,000. What's 400 times 7?
300.
Smash it together. What's your final answer? Michael. You got it. Now, what does this have to do with decimals, right? When you have to unit, this is what it's got to do with decimals. You can do it with decimals also. What number gets broken apart? Jake. What goes outside the parentheses? Caitlin. Great. All right, how do you break up 10.6? Let's go, Mike. Pull it out. Good, and very good. Multiply by each number inside. Make sure that little point is there so you see it, that little decimal 6, which is 6/10. All right, 200 times 10. Something I haven't heard from. Manage. Now, before I ask you for this, I want to ask you a question. 200 times 0.6. Is our answer going to be greater than 200 or less than 200? How do you know it's less than 200? Why? Why, Matt? Exactly. If you have a number that's less than 1, then our product is going to be less than a larger number. Now, you can't really use a zero trick, but you kind of sort of can. Because you can still use your 6 times 2, then you got to do something. I may say 120. Correct. Okay? So, one way to think of it, if this confuses you, you just can do it in your head, that's fine. But I'm moving the decimal over once, so I can get rid of one of the zeros, and then 6 times 20 is 120, if that helps you. Otherwise, always remember it's going to be kind of, figure out, oh, look, this is 0.6, which is a little bit more than half. 120 is a little bit more than half of 200. You just got to kind of use reason. Smash it together, what do you got? Done. All right, one more example, the 3-bagger. Call it a 3-bagger because you've got to break up the number 3 ways. Which number gets broken up? Obviously, what? Okay. Somebody can come up here and put the correct numbers in all 3 blanks. You'll get a little something, something for yourself. G or T. The reason why we call it a 3-bagger is because inside the parentheses, you've got 3 partial products. We have a winner. Go get. Alright, I'm going to help you out with this. 1 Z's, 2 Z's, 3 Z's. 300 times 20. 300 times 300 times here comes your second opportunity to get something for yourself. Evaluate all 3 products. Virus. Marker. 3 of them. Hold on. Good. Think through the process. 300 Think. It's got to be less than 300 or 40. Too less little. 120 is correct.
Let's go.
Go again. Go again. That's okay. Smash it together. If you get stuck here, honestly you do, and you want to go, the whole idea of distributive property is mental math, but understand that sometimes you got to kind of see it by place value in order to do it. Like I can't, you may not be able to see it here, but I bet you can see it here. Hakuna Matera.
I just figured out something that you can do. For when it says the 300 times 4,
Yes.
just cross out the 0, cross out the decimal, and then you would have your answer. Cross out that, you get
The
120.
only thing I worry about is here, like what he's saying, watch where you might run into issues. It works here, but watch what happens here, because you'll, the advanced set gets this. What about this, bud?
You get rid of the 2 zeros, you get rid of the 2 zeros, and you get rid of the decimal.
Alright, so you've got to modify the plan. It's not just a decimal, but if there's also a 0 here, and you get 12. You could do it that way if you can remember it. Yeah.
And then the answer is,
Answer.
hold on.
You got it. Go get it. Alright? So let me lay out the rest of your day. I'll put everything here, okay? I'm not going to make it unreasonable. I want you, what page is this on? 5, okay. I want you to do, in lesson 10, how much time do we have left? 20 minutes. Plenty. All right, lesson number 10, watch. Pages 6 through, I believe, 10. Exercise 5. Page 10. Hold on. 6 through 10. Wait, we're not done. Why are you so shocked about that? You'll get that done in 10 minutes. Okay, then, and I'm really just talking about not advanced here, okay? Advanced, we'll play it by ear. But lesson 9, I want you to, I need you to finish it because that's good practice, okay? Lesson 9 needs to be finished for homework, but you'll get a head start in class. I need you guys to practice adding your decimals. That's always a problematic area. This stuff, the kids always love this type of question on the test because it's easy 10 points. I'm not worried about distributive property. I am worried a little bit about adding and subtracting decimals because you just need more practice with that. NOS. Everything that you see here has to be done by Sunday night. How's that? But get as much of this done in class as you can. Manage. Are you fans set? Yeah, I'd like you to. All right? You guys work at a quicker pace anyway. All right? So practice it over the weekend. All right? We want to get done with Mod 2 before Christmas break. And we still have about 5 more lessons to get through, so this should be tight. Anyway, group up and go. And by the way, for lesson 10, everybody has key privileges. Everybody has key privileges. It's underneath the box.